Zoom recording. I forgot, so I wasn't recording. So I'll try to pick back up. Debbie, thanks. I need a minder. I usually have one, and I don't have one today. So once I get, let's say I wanted to add a picture. I'm just going to pick this one for right now, and I'm going to say add. Actually, let me show you how to upload one. So if you want to upload, you go to the upload button. You will have had to save this to your computer. Save it in your pictures. Notice this says custom files. Make sure it says all files because you may have saved it and it's not a custom file and you can't find it. And I've had that happen many times with agents who are like, I don't see it. And then I'll ask them, do you have all files? So then if I pick a picture, let's just pick this one. Oh, that's not a valid image, of course not. Let's go find another one. Let's do this one. Where'd that go? So I might put under this, thinking of selling during the holidays, have you realized your house has gotten too small? You know, spending too much time at home and now you don't fit. I loved this picture. I thought this was great. So I can do that. I can add this and then I can add an article or I can write an article. But if you're going to write something, write it, read it, get somebody else to read it and edit it for you because we don't see our own mistakes. And make sure it makes sense. Read it out loud because what you wrote on the page may not sound good when you say it out loud. When you say it out loud, if it still sounds good, it's probably good. Sometimes the best thing is to have somebody else read it to you. So send it to a friend. If you live alone, send it to a friend, have them read it back to you and have them give their input. It's funny, it's little things that make all the difference in how professional something sounds. So, and we all need help with all of that.
I have one other question, and I don't know if you want to get into it or not, but how would we, if there is an article, but it's a large article, but we just want to put in the link that they can click on to go to that article, how do you do that?
You can do that, and you're going to do that with this little button here. It's called a link button. And so then I would, let's say I want to use this article. I'm going to copy this link. I use Control-C. You can use right-click and C. I'm going to go back to my presentation. Then I'm going to either Control-V or right-click and copy, paste, I mean, and then OK. And now that link is there. And that is a clickable link. So if I click on that link from here, it'll take me to that page.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. So if I wanted to add a video, Susan, do you mind? Okay. Susan has a great little video. I don't know how many times I've used this. I'm going to go back and grab it. I'm going to go to youtube.com. So if you create a video and you save it and upload it to YouTube, I'm going to go search for Susan Hughes. And I'm going to find her page. There she is. And I'm going to find from her playlist, I'm going to find this little, maybe from her videos. I like this one. 55 seconds. And I'm going to share this video. This was when COVID first happened. Susan took a great little video telling her clients how she was still working. I'm a big fan of this video. I just clicked on share. I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to go back to Howard Hanna Presentations and put this URL in. I'm going to paste it. and add. And there's our video. So what you could do for the holidays is, you know, you could put on your little Santa hat and you could play some holiday music in the background on your computer. And you could say, hey, everybody, this is Maggie. I just wanted to wish you all a happy holiday. If you have any questions, need anything this holiday season, if you have a family member that needs a card, needs a meal dropped off, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to help. I hope the 2021 is more prosperous for you and it's a wonderful year. Happy holidays. Thank you for your business. Right? 20 seconds. It's personal. It could be fun. And then add it in. And then have your little holiday message. I can add an image for my holiday message. I went and found some images. I loved this one. Just a snowy little tree. Very simple, kind of pretty. And I can add in as much or as little as I want with these plus signs. So I can make this 2. I can make it 1. Here I might say, has the house gotten a little small? And I'll say, okay. Has your home shrunk? You know, I'd probably say something stupid like, does your house seem like it stayed in the dryer too long? You know, because I like to make people laugh. I like to say things that are a little offbeat, a little silly. And when I was young and in sales, when I was 18, I remembered there were 7, Og Mandino, I think, had 7 steps to selling. And the first one was knock the customer off his feet. And all that meant was say something unexpected. Okay. It's like when you walk into Macy's and they say, hi, did you need any help today? What's the standard answer? No, thanks, I'm just looking. Where if you walked in and somebody said, hey, did you see any reindeers on your way in? People aren't expecting that. And so they go, what? And they stop and they listen. I worked, unfortunately, at a Bonton once during Christmas about 6 years ago. And it was Black Friday and it was horrible. And the line was about 20 people deep into my register. And I worked at a Clinique counter, but you know, everybody went everywhere. Anyway, somebody about 6 people back started swearing and, you know, getting upset. And so instead of playing along, I started singing Christmas carols. And everybody started singing Christmas carols. I said, we all got to wait, so we can either wait and be happy or we can wait and be mad, which it's going to be. And the guy who was swearing stopped swearing and started singing. So you have the ability to change the mood by how you react. And this can help with right now. Be fun, be a little bit silly if you're a silly person. If you're not a silly person, don't try that. It never works. It comes off too stiff. But if you are a little bit silly, it's okay to be silly. Just be appropriate and silly. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So this is a great opportunity for you to have a little bit of fun and create something that's unique to you. And you have endless resources. Don't make this so long. Don't make this, you know, War and Peace. Couple little things. Think of it as a postcard or a newsletter and send it out. And how am I going to send it to my clients? So this is where it's so awesome. You're going to save it first. You're going to name it Holiday News. And I might have a description. 12/2020. Why? Because I might archive this for next year to see what I did and then change it up a little bit. I'm not going to enable page editing. I don't want them to change it. Then I'm going to save it. Now I'm going to climb up to these little 3 dots.
Where?
I can rename it. I can change the layout. I can upload it and I can copy it and I can change layout options. So once I have it, I'm going to go back home. It's just faster. Come back into Howard Hanna presentations. So I'm going to show you how to send it. How many of you are using Engage CRM? You guys need to be using your Engage CRM. I'm telling you, this is a powerful tool. And before I let you go today, I'm going to show you why it's so powerful. So this is what we were working on. I want to email it. I came down to my little snowman here, and I'm going to email it. And if I saved my contacts, my buyers in my Engage CRM, all of my buyers will be here.
Okay.
Or I have all contacts, or whatever contact group I want to send this to. Then my subject, holiday newsletter from Maggie, or whatever.
Okay.
Make sure they want to open it.
Okay.
This is junk mail you never want to look at. That's what you don't want to say. You want to say, this is, hi, a holiday greeting from Maggie. Just wanted to say hi. And then if you want a message, you can add a message. I think if it's a newsletter, you probably don't need one.
Okay.
If you do, it might be something simple like wishing you a happy holiday. And then you'll say send and it'll go.
Maggie,
Send
when you're done, can you show me how to save it before you went back to the home thing?
Yep.
Because it's not going to be saved unless I save it, correct?
Actually, Howard Hanna presentation saves as you're going along, but when you're in something, it said save right up here. It had a little gray box that said save above it when I was doing it. And so it saved it just as I had it. So, and this doesn't look in a way that I would like it laid out. I would take the time to lay this out properly. So you do want to view everything, but we're working quickly. So let me go back and show you one that I did earlier for the Thanksgiving. Where's the Thanksgiving one? This one. So this one looked a little better. I had a little more time for this class. And that's not what I want. I want to go edit. So I may not choose this picture.
Okay.
Because it's smaller than I want in this square. So I want to make sure it looks good. And then if I wanted to move it around, I can. So I can move anything anywhere I want. This would be where I would put in the personal video. For me, my personalized video to my clients.
Okay.
I just think this is a great, fun way to create some more opportunity for yourself. Now, I do want to show you this. The only thing this doesn't include is buy-side. Buy-side is now attached, but this document was created before we had buy-side. Just want to show you this. So this one I want. Waiting. Yep. So here's Engage CRM, and this is why you want to use our tools.
Okay.
So Hanna leads, talks to Engage. Open to close and Real Scout, there should be another arrow. They talk to each other and they each independently talk to Engage. So all of the contacts you have from Open to Close go to Engage. All the contacts you have from Real Scout go to Engage. And this also talks to that. E-contacts. So if you have e-contacts, they talk to Engage. Agent uploads, anything that came from sources in a CSV file. So if you had contacts that you saved from Google or Gmail or Hotmail or Roadrunner or whatever, they will go into Engage. Hanna Mail is the only one where Engage and Hanna Mail talk to each other. It goes back and forth. Engage does not go back to Real Scout. Engage does not go back to Open to Close. Open to Close and Real Scout come to Engage. Does that make sense? And Moxie Concierge is a service that you can pay for to have Moxie clean up your contacts. I don't recommend it. Anyone who's taken any Engage class from me knows that I recommend that you put in contacts one at a time. Try 10 a day. And stop and call every single customer on that list and touch base and make a note and put it in Engage, because now you have focused your relationship with that person. Hey, I have this current information. How are you doing during COVID? How is your family? Write notes. How are they? If you did 10 a day for 10 days, you'd have 100 great contacts, which is probably more than most of you have. And if you, even realtors I know who've been realtors for 40 years, who have 8,000 contacts, if you haven't talked to them in 15 years, it's not a good contact. If you're building that relationship, so go backwards in time. Who did you talk to this week? And go backwards in time. And talk to everybody and get their information. Nobody should be in non-clients except Howard Hanna agents, in my opinion. Everybody else should be on a drip campaign, whether it's an attorney or a loan officer, even other agents from other offices. Why? Because they might do business with you in the future or refer business to you. So everybody should be a client. No one's personal, by the way. Don't even use that. Ignore that. Your mother's not personal. If your Aunt Tilly, who doesn't remember her own name, is in the nursing home and she's not even going to remember who you are, she shouldn't be in personal. She should be in a different resource. It's not a good place to keep her information. But that's the only people who should be in personal. People who will not do business with you and will not refer business to you. So really, there should be nobody in there. Everybody should be referring business to you, except for a Howard Hanna agent. But keep them in.
Can I ask a question regarding contacts? Just what you were showing just now, as far as how you can send a presentation to a group that you created and engage.
Yep.
And now that you're showing this flow chart, it kind of ties into all of that. So I recently set up my listing presentation or my listing announcements in Engage, and had certain groups that I wanted that set up to go to. I also typically, even though I use the hot list in GoHanna, I typically send new listing announcements to, directly via email to my office and various offices that might feed that listing, right?
Right.
I could not figure out a way. So within GoHanna, within the directory, we've got Mount Lebanon office, whichever, various offices that those lists are already, those email distribution lists are already set up. I could not figure out a way within Engage to add those groups from GoHanna because to an email distribution.
So
does that make sense?
It does. So I'm just going to ask, because if anyone wants to jump off this call, does anybody have a question before I go show Tom? I'll be happy to stay and show Tom. Is there anybody has a question about the non-listing presentation?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sure, Erin, go ahead.
Sorry, my video's not on. When you were typing to and you typed in buyers, is that a group that you had created within Engage?
Yep.
Is there a way to just send it to all of your Engage contacts rather than?
I just have to have a group for all contacts. Yep.
And there's a way to do that as a mass, instead of going through.
Oh, sure.
Each
yeah, you can put
contact.
anybody.
Okay.
You can put people into multiple lists. However, bear this in mind: if you're going to have an all contact list, don't also send it to your buyers. Why? Because they'll get it twice.
I see.
And you look like a dope.
Yes.
So you may have a list for my Oak Street farm, which is only addresses. I don't have any emails. But when I get an email, I'm going to take them out of that Oak Street farm, possibly. I may keep them in there, but if they transition into a buyer group, I may transition them out. So maybe only my farm gets one set of materials, and that would be a mailing, right? And that's fine. I may have my calendar list, which may go to certain of my clients, but not every single one. So I might have my 2020 calendar group for mailing.
Okay.
So if I have groups, just make sure you're putting people into the group you most strongly identify them with, so that you aren't sending it multiple times to the same people. It just doesn't look professional, because it's not.
Sure.
So keep that in mind. All right.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions about the non-listing? I think Kathy, you had a question.
I did. It wasn't actually about that. I'm back on the newsletter again.
Yeah,
but,
that's okay.
So when we were in the broker's page, as far as like, for instance, the seller's guide, it looks like there's so much good information in there. Are we able to like take, say we want to do for a monthly newsletter, like one of those articles per month? Am I allowed to copy and paste that and put that, some of that
All you have to, sure. Yeah. That
doesn't have to be just for people that
no, you can use it however you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So you're free to use that information. It's there. It's available to you. Yeah, if you've got a clever way to use it, by all means.
And so all we'd have to do is copy that, the article or whatever, and then just paste it into the newsletter, correct?
Well, you can just use it as a you can add it as brokerage page. You can go into that seller's guide, and I can just add this page, and it'll just be added to my document. So let's go.
Oh, it'll automatically put it to the newsletter?
Yep, if I know which page it is. So now this is going to have a second page. And that's going to be my second page.
Great.
So yes, you absolutely can do that. So that's a great question. And there's a lot of really good information that we have that you may not be aware of. I've encouraged every office to print out every page, and the admins hate me for this, and put it in a binder, resource binder with the page title, because I think sometimes it's easier just to see a physical and to flip pages and say, I want this page. In lieu of that, it is something you can do for yourself. You know, I have a tech binder for Engage, Open Close, Real Scout, Hanna presentations, and Authentisign, because that's what we use in our area for e-signatures. And I have a resource binder with these pages in it because it makes it easier for me. But that's how I function. If you don't function that way, that's okay. You know, you got to work the way you work. So yes, you can do that. So if we go back, so anybody who's done with the non-listing and you want to go on and do the rest of the day, you're welcome to, but I'm going to go back and answer Tom's question on Engage. So I'm going to go into Engage, and Tom.
Maggie, could I ask one quick question? I typed
Sure,
it in.
Diane, of course. Yep.
It's hard to multitask, I know. If I create one of these and save it on my computer, is it acceptable and possible to just post it to my Facebook business page?
You can't do that. Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no mechanism for doing it that way.
All righty, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Yep, you could, if you know how to use the snipping tool and you can get it the right size, you can snip it, and I'm not sure how it would look.
Okay.
So it may not be the best way to do that. You can do that in Facebook by creating a post.
Oh, okay.
Using the same information. So, but that's a different class completely.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Tom, what's your question?
Okay, so if I am wanting to send anything within Engage to a group of people, a mass number of people, obviously, you know, so for instance, listing announcements, I know that I can assign groups that I have created within Engage to get that mail-in, that listing announcement. I'm wondering if, so that same listing announcement, or it could be anything else, you know, that I want to send in mass, whether it's a newsletter or anything else, besides groups that I have created in Engage, maybe I also want to send that to a distribution list that was created within Hanna. So for instance, Solon, Ohio sales people, or my office, Mount Lebanon, Pittsburgh sales office. Is there, I could not figure out how to be able to add that distribution list to listing announcements or anything like that.
So you can take your distribution list. You should be able to save it as a CSV file, open it as a CSV file.
Yeah.
And then upload it into your Hanna mail.
Okay.
You can,
that's
or
what I
mail.
figured. I just didn't know if I was missing something and that was already somehow able to be done without having to take that step or not.
No, you do have to save it as, but once you have it as a CSV, and if you guys don't know, CSV is a comma separated value. It's an Excel document. The one thing you can't do is you can't change the size or the width of the columns. So I like to show an Excel document and type in George Stephanopoulos because his name is so long it never fits in the square. It's there. It's, if you're old like me, you may have seen back in the old days, the secretary would have this very long thing that looked like a yardstick with little flaps for A, B, C, D. JKL was one section, and you would put the names or the folders or the flyers or whatever under those letters. My mother-in-law was a secretary, and we used this for a couple of clubs that we had, and we would sort all the clients under their alphabets. It's the same thing. They're there. You just can't see them because the others are sort of laying over. So it's this multiple layer thing. So in a CSV file, don't make things wider. The minute you do that, it becomes an invalid file.
Oh.
So you just leave them the size they are, and then they can copy and paste into a CSV template. I don't know why, because I'm not the smartest person in the world, but if it was me, there would be one universal CSV file format for everything that everyone could use everywhere, but there's not. Everyone has their own stupid system. So it might be last name, first name, spouse's last name, spouse's first name. The next one might be first name, last name, email, address. So you can just take those whole columns, even if it's 1,000 people, cut that column and paste it somewhere else. If you don't know how to do it, I assure you, your admins probably do. If they don't in your office, they're new, ask another office admin. They can help you to take those, and they can do it in seconds. If you print it out, they have to type them in. If it's electronic, it's seconds of cutting and paste. So don't print them out and say, hey, can you make this, that? No, send it to them electronically. If you don't know how to do that, ask them how to do that. Let them help you, because it's going to help them, because you're going to save them hours and hours of time. How many admins do I have on the call? Any? Because I'm telling you, you're going to save them a bazillion hours. And they want to help you, but it's cumbersome sometimes. We give them more work than we need to. Oh, that's right, Debbie, yes. So save them the time. If you don't know how to do it, ask them. You're going to save everybody a bunch of time. When you're editing groups, if you click this button, you can edit groups. You can create a new group for any name that you want. If I want an all contact group, guess what? I'm just going to say all contacts. I'm going to type it in, and then I would just come back and I would select all, and everybody's selected. If I want to filter for my just listed, just for missing email addresses, I can click this button and say apply. There's a ton of information. This is a totally separate class from what we were doing, but it is linked. So I wanted to go back since you guys had questions. Feel free. Yeah, Debbie's saying on the CSV file, easy peasy. She's an admin. So just ask for help. Anybody read Louise Penny novels? I love Louise Penny. They're the 4 sentences of wisdom. It comes up in every single one of her books on this little Inspector Gamache. It's a funny little mystery series. I don't know. I need help. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. In real estate, I think we use these 4 sentences all the time. If you don't know, ask for help. If you're wrong, be accountable, say I'm sorry. And if you do that, your career's going to run smoother. So the minute I read those 4 sentences, I was like, this is my new motto. So anyway, have a great day. If you need help, send me some information. It's Margaret Knapp at Howard Hanna. I go by Maggie, but of course my legal name for my real estate license, blah, blah, blah. Hate that. I'd rather just be Maggie. Feel free to email me. My phone number is 585-430-9759. 430-9759. Feel free to call me. I'm a trainer, so I'm off in a meeting or training. If I'm not back to you immediately, if I haven't gotten back to you in 24 hours, shoot me another text or an email. You got buried. I will get back to you.
Maggie,
Okay.
could I ask a quick question?
Sure, Cindy.
Are you aware of any program or app or whatever where you can look up if you have someone's address, you can find their email address?
I think there are some paid apps where you can do that. I would be more likely just shoot them a note and
Okay.
say, hey, Joanne, this is Maggie from Howard Hanna. I'm updating my records. You know, if I have I might look for them on Facebook, see if I can
Okay.
reach out to them that way. Do you have a contact in common who might have that information?
Okay. Good
So, yeah, look for phone numbers. People answer text really quickly. You know, was when that first happened, it was my kids' generation. Everything was text all of a sudden.
Mhm.
And now we're all doing it. So if you want a quick response, text is a great way to get a quick response. Hey, I'm updating my files. What's your current phone number and email?
Okay.
And share yours. So, you know, how many ways can you skin the cat? Can you get their email? Can you get their phone? Can you get their Facebook? Can you get their home address? Because if you got any one of them, you can contact them.
Okay.
And if you want to stop by their home address, consider a pop-by gift. Take bubbles. They got kids, take bubbles. Hey, I just popped in to say hello. Take some popcorn. You know, whatever. Just, it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be very cheap. It can make a big difference on their remembering you. I'm a big believer in Popeyes. So try those.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So have a great day, guys, and I'll see you when I see ya. Oh, by the way, we're doing a checklist class later in December. So if anybody wants a checklist class, Jen Berger and I'll be doing that. Susan, call me at your convenience. I want to talk to you about NAR. Bye, guys.